What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tay the God, and I just saw the most crazy movie ever. Alright? Spider-Man Homecoming. I just got home from the theater, so this is fresh off the top. Like, no, I didn't write nothing down. I don't have no points. I'm gonna just go straight off the top. Just talk about it, alright? So pretty much the first half is probably going to be non-spoilers, and then, or maybe not the first half, like first 3/4, and last little bit will be spoilers. When there are spoilers, I'll say boom, right there, spoilers on the screen, you know what I mean? Actually, probably on this side, right? Yeah, spoilers on the screen right here. Alright, here we go. So, first off, let me start by saying, alright, I understand that Spider-Man's gone through so many stages. Of course, there's been Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, then there was the Amazing Spider-Man. A lot of people didn't like the Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't find it that bad, to be honest. I kind of liked the direction they were going in, and that they're still going in, because Sony just did they lease it, or I don't know exactly how they gave the contract to Marvel Studios, but Sony still does have the rights to Spider-Man, so they will continue their Amazing Spider-Man franchise. And of course, they have Venom coming out. They have the Sinister Six all set up. They got a whole bunch of good stuff, and I'm really excited for that, to be honest. But Spider-Man Homecoming, a lot of you guys right off the bat were just turned off by a new Spider-Man. I know especially a lot of superhero fans didn't really, not superhero fans, but just like movie buffs kind of, they didn't really understand why they kept refreshing them. So of course, with the Marvel Studios, the MCU, right, Iron Man, Captain America, all their movies, they're all the Avengers, right? They're all in the same universe, much like how DC's doing now. Spider-Man they've never had, because they never had the rights to it. But now they finally got the rights from Sony, so they're implementing him now. And yes, it's after a second reboot, pretty close to it, so it might turn people off. But I'm telling you, watch this movie. This is one of the best superhero movies ever, because what makes a superhero movie so great always is its ability to actually be a film. So, like The Dark Knight, for example, one of my favorite movies ever, not just superhero movies, one of the best movies ever. It's a good film. Like, you don't have to like Batman to watch The Dark Knight, you know what I mean? And with this one, you don't have to like Spider-Man. You don't have to know anything about comics to like this movie. This is just a good movie. So pretty much I'll start first with the backstory, because what I also really liked about this this reboot, I guess you can call it, is they didn't even waste time with the introduction to Spider-Man. And of course, we know that they're already they're not behind, but they're a little late putting Spider-Man into the game. Of course, Spider-Man's one of the biggest superheroes, so that would have been one of their front runners, the MCU. But of course, they got him kind of late, so they're kind of just they're not rushing it, but they're not gonna make a whole prologue type movie. You know what I mean? They're not gonna do that. They kind of just throw him in, and they don't really explain who he is. So Peter Parker in the movie is kind of a mix of Peter and Miles Morales. If you don't know who Miles Morales is, he's the new Spider-Man in like the comics and the shows, because Peter died. Peter was killed by Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. Miles Morales' uncle or something robbed the Oscorp where the spider still was, that bit Peter, and the spider got into the uncle's bag. And then when Miles went to his uncle's house one day, the spider came out the bag and bit Miles. So that's how Miles turned into Spider-Man. And Miles has a bit of a different story. Of course, he has a best friend who knows who he is. He's younger. I think is he 15 in the comics? I'm not sure, but in the movie, Peter's 15. But Miles is younger. He has a best friend who knows who he is and helps him. Just different overall characters, of course, in school and stuff. And in the movie, it is Peter Parker, but he has that best friend like Miles does. And he also, there's no Gwen Stacy or no Mary Jane. It's Liz, and I forget who Liz is, but I know that's a character from somewhere. But yeah, so it's kind of a whole different direction. But they keep it OG, but they also change it up, and they make it kind of new. And a really funny thing is Miles Morales in the new Spider-Man show is played by Donald Glover, and Donald Glover is actually in the new Spider-Man movie. He plays not like a main role, but he's in it for like a nice 10 minutes or something. It's pretty funny to see, and I like Childish Gambino, of course, so I really like seeing him. I really loved Ned, like Peter's best friend Ned. Oh my god, he was the star of the movie, to be honest. He was the best character in the movie. I loved Ned. He was so hilarious. I don't even know who that actor is, but he was a freaking great actor. So yeah, one of my major things about this movie that I didn't like, I said the whole time it was going to be a great movie, because MCU they don't make bad movies, right? Marvel Studios, all their movies are pretty good. I said the trailer gave away way too much. Not the first trailer, the second trailer that came out that was like 3 minutes long. They just, like, I honestly wish I stopped watching after like the first half of it, because I was like, they're showing us way too much, and there's not gonna be many, you know what I mean, many moments. But this movie, first off, this movie felt like it went on for like 5 hours. I don't know exactly how long it is, I'm assuming like 2 hours and 20 minutes, something like that. But this movie felt like it was going on forever, and I love that. You know what I mean? The pacing of it, just it was so. It was so well done. Right from the beginning of the movie, it's funny, it's action packed, like from the jump, and not action packed like there's stuff blowing up and you know what I mean, he's fighting dudes, but it's movie, you know what I mean? There's never boring scenes where you're just like, oh, okay, like can we get on with this, or you know what I mean? It never feels like it overstays its welcome. They introduce the villain right off the jump, and the villain, Vulture, of course. Oh my god, the villains. What they did with the villains is one of the best things I've ever seen done in superhero movies. The way they implement the OG, like the comic, like, you know, the real Spider-Man fans, the way they give them what they would want, fans who are kind of new to superheroes or maybe don't know who Spider-Man is, the way they implement that, and then the way they just put it all together for it to work in the MCU, it's so beautiful, man. Vulture has he doesn't have that ugly green tight suit, obviously, you know what I mean, that's just unrealistic, but he's got a nice like coat on and everything, but he still had the fur around the neck on the coat, and I was like, whoa, that's sick, because like that's respect to, you know, the ones who know about the Vulture fur, you know what I mean. Also, Shocker's in it, and Shocker had that jacket with the yellow padded sleeves with like the crosses down them. Oh my god, when I seen that, I was getting hyped. Honestly, from the trailers, I thought Iron Man was going to be a way bigger role in the movie, and he was a big role, but it doesn't really, like, he doesn't interfere with it as much as I thought. Like, I definitely thought Iron Man was going to be too much of a annoyance for me. Like, it's a Spider-Man movie, you know what I mean? I want to see Spider-Man. I understand it's in the MCU, and Iron Man's like the front runner in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but like, I didn't want to see too much of him, and you really don't, but at the same time, like, his presence is always felt, you know what I mean? And that was good to see. Coming up on the end of the movie, it was like every time I felt like it hit the climax, it kept peaking, like it kept going up, you know what I mean? I was like, damn. The whole way through, there's so many laughs, and it's just so good. Like, I don't even I'm trying to, in the non-spoiler section, I'm trying not to say too much. And lastly, just in terms of directing, which I pay heavy attention to the directing in every movie, just the way it's cut and shot. Like, for example, Wonder Woman, I liked Wonder Woman. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I didn't think it was great. And the reason why I didn't think it was great was because a couple things, but mainly because of the directing. Like, the action scenes, the way they were cut, like the angles and the effects, like the slow-mo, they overuse that slow-mo so much in Wonder Woman. Just some of the angles and the transition effects were just kind of cheesy. Like, I wasn't really feeling it. The only thing that I could honestly say I didn't like, the only thing that I did not like about the movie is the way they did the school. So now, I don't think this takes away from it. For example, like, I'm still gonna give this a 10, but I don't think just because I didn't like this, it means it's not perfect, doesn't deserve a 10. But so Flash Thompson, of course, is like that football stud star player or whatever at the high school, and just bullies Peter Parker, right? The popular guy, he just bullies Peter, all that. The way they do it in the movie was kind of like, I was just kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't really think they needed to do that. Flash is just some skinny brown man on the debate team, or like whatever what was it called, Des? Yeah, Flash is just some skinny brown man on the decathlon team with Peter, and I don't know, he's like popular, but he's not, because there's like other, I didn't really get it. That high school seems very weird to me. But he bullied Peter, but he was like friends with Peter kind of, and I don't know, it didn't really work because it wasn't really Flash Thompson, but I guess they kind of just wanted to throw in someone from Peter's world into that world, I guess. I don't know. You know, it wasn't the best thing, but I definitely don't think it was a negative. I just didn't really like it. So before I get into the spoilers, I'm gonna give this movie most definitely, I want to say like a 9 point. Like, I don't want to give it a 10 because realistically, like, is there really anything that's perfect? But this movie, it's got to get a 10 because it's just so right in so many ways that, like, I can't not give it a 10. I hate people that are just like, oh, you can't give it a 10 because nothing's perfect, blah, blah, blah. You can give it a 10, you know what I mean? Same with video games, same with albums, whatever. You can give it a 10, all right? Anyways, I give this movie definitely a 10. Definitely a must-watch. Definitely one of the best superhero, like, top 3 superhero movies I've ever seen in my life. Right there beside Dark Knight, and right there beside, I want to say The Winter Soldier, but I'd say it's definitely better than The Winter Soldier 2. Alright, anyway, so on to the spoilers now. So,
You don't spoil it.
no, at the end of the video, I'm just going to say spoilers now. Stop watching. But I want to talk about, yeah, that's what everyone does. That's how it works.
You spoilers on YouTube?
Baby, if they don't want to see the spoilers, they're not going to watch the spoilers.
People hate people like you.
But they know. First thing I want to say, the twist was so good. Yo, so pretty much Vulture, right, is this dude named Mason, and I really like how they implement the MCU into his storyline, because they make it's not just a dude with wings, right? Obviously that's not realistic. He actually takes the alien like ship parts from the Avengers fight like 8 years prior, during the Avengers 1. They take like those parts and stuff from the alien wreckage, and he makes all this new technology, and Shocker's in his crew, he's in his crew, and they make all this stuff and they sell weapons, but he made that whole flying suit thing, right? And his reasoning for why he's doing what he's doing is actually because Tony Stark actually pretty much sussed him, pretty much made him lose damn near everything. To get the site of the alien, like the alien wreckage site, he bought trucks so that he could salvage everything. He sold a whole bunch of stuff, right? He even put his house on the line or something like that. Or he said something about how he might lose his house. I'm not 100% sure. Probably just from being in debt, they probably take his house. That's what he meant. But Tony Stark's people, they pretty much just came and said, no, actually we're going to take the salvage. I don't care if you have the rights, we have whatever law piece of document thing, right? So that's kind of what made him angry. That's kind of why he turned to the Vulture. Shocker, there's actually two Shockers. The first one was a Shocker for like 20 minutes and then he died, and then the next dude kind of took over as Shocker. Shocker didn't actually have the, you know what I mean, that we all know Shocker has, because realistically that'd be kind of OP and that'd be kind of unrealistic to see. Shocker just kind of has this fist thing and he just punches them and gives them like an electric volt, and it's a heavy punch. That was fine to see. Honestly, I didn't really even mind that at all. And usually those are the type of things I get kind of not mad at, but I'd be kind of like, I wish they fixed it, but I think it's fine. So the twist, so Peter comes up to take the girl to prom that he's so in love with, right? That he really likes. He's like the whole movie, he's like this girl, and he finally asks her to prom, or to homecoming, sorry. And he's all excited, and he opens the door, and when he opens the door, her dad is Vulture, and I was like, what? And the reason why it's so freaking good is because like there's so much going on at the time, and like, you know what I mean, you're not really focused on Vulture anymore, because they kind of go away from Vulture for a little bit. It's when Peter gets his suit taken from him because he messes up and Iron Man has to come to his rescue. Iron Man takes his stuff from him and he kind of has to grind as a person now, he stopped being Spider-Man, he's just being Peter, right? And I don't know, it moves along fast, and then all of a sudden, boom, Vulture shows up, and you were just like, whoa, there's no build up or anything, it just hits you, right? And I was just like, damn, like everyone in the theater was like, oh, right? God bless you.
Sorry.
And I really liked how they did the whole car scene. Like, I felt like it was kind of cheesy, like it kind of went on a little too long. Like the tension, it was a little bit cheesy, but it was well done. Like, I really liked how he just pulled out the strap and he just knew it was Peter, you know what I mean? There was no long talking, he just knew. That was pretty cool to me. That scene was well done. So after the credits, not after the full credits, but just after like the little 2 minutes of credits or whatever, right when the movie's done, there's a scene with Vulture in prison, and he pulls up on a dude, right, who's actually, you see earlier in the movie, but you don't know who he is really. They say a name, but I knew that name was probably someone, but I didn't know the name, right? So I didn't really think anything of it. But he has a tattoo right here that really stands out, and I was just like, is that supposed to be something? But during the movie, he's kind of leaning on something, and it's kind of far back, so I couldn't tell what it is. I thought, okay, maybe it isn't anything. But after, in the prison, when Vulture comes up to him, that dude says, hey, I heard you know who Spider-Man is. He got you locked up, blah, blah. And it shows his tattoo, and it was a scorpion, so obviously that's going to be Scorpion. And then Scorpion says, or Vulture says, like, if I knew who he was, he'd be dead, obviously, blah, blah. But Scorpion says, I have friends on the outside who, like, what does he say exactly? He's like, if you know who he is, I have friends on the outside, blah, blah, blah. Right, so, could it be setting up a Sinister Six? We already know that Sony has a Sinister Six, like, set up, of course, but Scorpion's not in the Sinister Six, though. And I was actually doing research, and one of the or not one of the original Sinister Six. There's obviously been different groups of the Sinister Six, but one of them did have Scorpion in it as well as Vulture. I'm pretty sure the OG Sinister Six was Mysterio, Craven, Green Goblin, Electro, Doc Ock, and Sandman, was it? Or was it Vulture? I forget who the OGs were, something like that. But anyways, if they were setting up like a Sinister Six, I think that would be really cool. But at the same time, when they do make that next Spider-Man movie, I really hope it's not Scorpion and Rhino. Those two always go together in whatever it seems to be, a comic, a movie, a video game. They're always together. And Rhino's such an ass villain. Like, he doesn't do anything. He just runs with his head down at you, and Spider-Man just freaking jumps over him and you know what I mean? It's just, that would be bad for them to do. I really hope they don't do that. But anyways, that's my thoughts on Spider-Man, and it's just such a good movie, and I just wanted to share that with y'all and my thoughts and opinions. I didn't really have anything written down. I feel like I missed probably a lot of stuff, but this is just fresh off the top. I just finished watching the movie and I loved it. 10 out of 10, go watch it. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you're new, when you hit that subscription button, hit that notification button as well. Join the notification gang and never miss a video. It's your boy Tay, guys, signing out. Peace.